All right, I'm Joshua Wilson from CG Productions in Tucson, and we're up at Acoustic Fields with Terra Naomi. Get that right?
I know it's a tough one.
And
It confuses everyone.
she plays acoustic guitar and does voice, and we put her in a room and had her listen to some music in it, and she thought it was amazing. And so, since she's a artist and a singer, we decided to have a recording, and I recorded her in this room. So, Tara, what are your like first impressions of the room
Well,
as far as recording?
it's pretty incredible because listening back, we went with just one mic in the room, and the sound. It's hard to believe listening back to it that it's just one mic, all recorded at the same time, mono. It's crazy. It's almost like there's a, I don't even know how to explain it really because like I'm not like a technical, I'm not like an engineer or anything like that, but it's like the voice is right up there and present, and then the guitar is like around the voice. It sounds like, it's like a very round sound. If I had to like describe it, it's almost like you're sitting in the middle of the sound. Inside the sound, and it's really weird because I've like recorded a lot of acoustic songs, you know, and I've never experienced such a rich. It's like rich and lush, and there's so much sound represented, but nothing's overpowering. So it's like there's a ton of sound, and all across the spectrum. So like low, mid, high, like everything is almost equally represented, and nothing like jumps out, or like there were certain notes that, you know, when I'm singing that I hit really hard, and it didn't disrupt the balance, if that makes sense, of the of like the guitar and the voice, and it sounded like it'd been, you know, recorded separately and mixed perfectly, but it didn't, because what it didn't have was that artificial sound that you get from all the production. So it was just like a perfect sound. It's like you're sitting in the middle of the sound. That's the best way I can describe it.
So you've heard your voice a lot, obviously. How did you feel about like especially like the song that you done a cappella?
Yeah.
How did you feel about the vocals in that particular song recording?
It's awesome because it sounds like my voice. Because a lot of the time when I record, then, you know, they have to go EQ, and there's certain frequencies that they like, that the engineer will like turn down a little bit, you know, has to adjust to balance it all out, and that I don't notice when I'm singing live, like that I don't hear, you know, but when I'm in a mic, sometimes that happens, you know, and I guess that's why EQ exists, because you always have to do that usually. And in this, it's like we just recorded totally, you know, nothing on there, no EQ, no reverb, and it just sounded so smooth and balanced and beautiful and real. It sounds really real. It sounds like there was actually this moment that you experienced too, like on the bigger notes, because I sang a song that was really, you know, a powerful vocal, and on those bigger notes you could feel like the sound, the pressure of the sound in your ears when you're listening to it, like it was live and somebody was like singing right. It was crazy. I don't know how else to describe it. It's pretty nuts.
Had you ever recorded with any kind of diffusion or anything like this, with anything that?
Nothing. I mean, I've recorded in studios that have, you know, the different panels and have different, setups that are with wooden panels and diffusers and stuff. I've recorded in a lot of great studios. So, I mean, I have, but I've never experienced it sounding like this, you know.
That's great.
Yeah.
How do you think that affects, like, far as like you actually hearing yourself singing, like hearing your pitch and being able to, you know, like hear yourself, far as like when you're actually performing? How does this room affect that?
You mean what I would take into a performance from this experience?
No.
I'm actually
I mean, like
recording?
when you're actually singing.
Yeah.
So when you're actually singing and hearing yourself and trying to, you know, make sure your pitch is right and stuff, like, is it do you feel like it's easier to control it in this room, or?
Well, I think it just feels very authentic.
Yeah.
So in a way, yes, because you're not hearing there's nothing that's like getting in the way and making you hear sort of a false sound, but truthfully, it's not usually something that I worry about or think about. I just sing, you know. I don't often think about what I'm doing or the pitch or anything. It just kind of happens. but
just great.
But no, I didn't notice that just because I don't. It's not something that I pay attention to, you know.
Okay.
I don't mean to interrupt, but are you recording, Josh?
Yes.
On the camera?
Yes.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I don't see the light flashing.
I see the red light.
I see the red light.
Okay, good. I can't see it from this angle. Sorry, go ahead.
I see it on the screen.
Oh, okay, good. Good.
Yeah.
Anything that really jumps out that's different between vocals and instruments based on your past experience?
Well, the balance.
The balance.
I mean, the balance is ridiculous. It's like, it sounds like you recorded my vocals and you recorded my guitar and then you very, carefully balanced them so that one wasn't overpowering the other. And so that, I mean, and it just sounds right. It sounds even.
My curves in my phone. See, and that's what I went for
It's amazing.
when I created it. I never heard that balance.
No, it's like,
and I'm not an artist, so I don't know anything about it, but I know what I hear.
Of course, you must.
I couldn't hear that balance. So
Yeah.
it's great that you tell me you hear it.
Oh yeah, it sounds like it was mixed, and it wasn't. It was done with one microphone, and that's what's crazy because like that's what's so great about live performance, especially like I do house concerts sometimes too, and I just play in a house with like maybe, I don't know, 50 people, 30 people, however many are in a room. And it's great because that's how music was originally created.
Right.
People live in a room listening to music. And so getting that experience of the sound just being integrated because that's how I'm playing it, that's how I'm singing it. I'm mixing live, But with recording, it so often feels like there's this whole process that has to take place where, and I guess it's because it's not authentically capturing the sound. It's like going through whatever it's going through and it's being compressed and I don't know the technical issues of what's happening, but it's like since it isn't true sound that's being captured, then there has to be all this balance and mixing and, even for just, I hear it all the time. If I try to record vocals and guitar in one mic, it's not going to sound like that. Like, I'm not used to hearing it like that. I'm not used to hearing how rich and lush the sound is. It sounds live. It sounds really like, I can't think of any other way than to say like you're in it. You're in the sound wave. It feels like, and you can feel it. You can feel like the air. Like it's crazy.
As an artist, does it make you want to sing more and play more?
It makes me want to record more. Because I've never liked the studio. I'm one of those artists that does not like recording. I do not like recording. It's like my least favorite part of being a musician.
Yeah.
And I think part of the reason
the engineers go in and like it doesn't sound like the way that you hear it in your head anymore.
It doesn't sound the way I hear it, and it's always this like kind of, it's like instead of just going in and capturing it, it's like this painstaking process. It's like, getting the balance, getting the EQ, getting the mix right, getting and I don't know, it just I don't feel like it's capturing really what I do. Yeah. And this I feel like is so authentic that I don't have to work to make the equipment capture the organic nature of what I do. You know? It's like it just was there. It sounded, when I listened back with nothing, just to the raw audio file, whatever we were listening to, it sounded like what I imagine I sound like if I'm singing to somebody in a room, Yeah. Which is cool. And it's not, it's like, there's just, the studio can just be this frustrating, it's like, and positioning this just right and getting this just right and I don't have patience for the technical stuff really. And like, I don't know, maybe I missed a lot, but I don't think there was a ton of like adjusting something by like half of a millimeter or like, moving the perfect,
just like I said, from an engineering standpoint, this room makes it a lot easier to do things. Because like, even though I moved the microphone and positioning and stuff like that, there were very like subtle changes, you know what I mean? Just so we could get your voice to blend with the guitar. So, but yeah, like this room makes things a lot easier. And that's the thing as an artist, the faster you can get to recording and get things out the way, then like, you know, the better you feel. But when you have to like stop, oh well, hold on, let's take it back.
I hate it. I hate it. I was telling Dennis, I'm like, I'm a lot of things, a lot of good things. I'm, you know, compassionate and you know, caring and kind and, you know, all those things, but I'm not patient. I'm not a patient person. I run out of patience really quickly. I don't like to sit around and wait. I don't like to I like things to, you know, sound like they sound.
Yeah.
So,
And I think this room definitely does that.
Yeah,
really, really well.
I would say it does.
Wasn't it amazing that you have to have all this in a room to make it go away?
Right.
It's weird thinking.
Yeah.
You would think to make it go away, you want less shit.
Yeah.
Right.
Right? You want less stuff.
Right.
Okay, but no, you need more stuff.
Yeah.
How do you treat the room to make it go away? You make it smaller
Hmm.
by adding more stuff.
Hmm.
And that's what people don't get. But you got to add the right stuff
Yeah.
in the right amount and the right balance. Do you think, this is kind of a little bit egotistical on my part maybe, but do you think that this room could make you a better singer?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I think it makes me enjoy singing more.
Well, that's better.
You know, that's better. I think that I would get better performances because the experience, yeah. So in a sense, I mean, I don't think technically, but the result could be better just because what I'm hearing sounds better. And actually, and I mean, I experience this all the time on stage. When the monitor mix is bad, I can't give as good of a performance because I'm not enjoying what I'm hearing. You know, and for me, it's about getting lost in the sound. It's like getting lost in the sound that I'm making so that I can just be in it and not think about technical things. And so it's like when I'm on a stage and the sound is bad on stage, it just makes the experience so much less enjoyable. And so in a sense, yeah, I guess it would. Not technically, but as far as the performance that we end up with, I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I watched a performance of yours, I think it was in England,
Mm-hmm.
where you played in front of 50,000 people.
80,000.
Or 80,000. And I know
numbers.
the monitors were all wrong.
Yeah.
Weren't they?
They were. I was also using in-ear monitors for the first time, and I was struggling with it.
I could tell.
It was hard.
A little,
It was,
yeah.
but also to be fair, I was also just petrified. Like the first half of the performance, and then there was a point where I kind of relaxed into it. But so it wasn't all the monitors. It was like the monitors actually weren't that bad. I think it was actually just the fact that I had gone from playing for like 1,000 people to playing for 80,000 people, and it was overwhelming completely. So I'm standing there by myself with a guitar, and I was like, oh my God. So I think that might have been more of the struggle and discomfort that you were experiencing in watching me. Because then there was this one point, and I see it also in the video when I've watched it, there's like a point where I kind of look up at the sky, and I remember feeling like, just relax, like you're supposed to be enjoying this, you know?
Right.
And then I kind of eased into it a little more, but I don't think there was anything that a good monitor could have helped with that. It was too scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, great. Anything else to add, Josh?
No, I think we covered everything. She explained everything really, really well.
I probably explained it too many times, like over and over again, like saying the same thing over and over again.
That's good. That's what people need to hear. So.
I'm just excited. You know, it's like really exciting to me that the studio is going to be in LA, that I can go in and use it and record, and maybe it's going to change the way that I feel about recording, because it's not going to be this frustrating experience where I keep hearing again and again, wow, you're so much better when I sit in a room with you. I feel, you know, because my voice especially, it's like all it is, like especially when I do acoustic, it's just my voice and my songs and I mean instrumentation, but that's there to support the song.
Right.
And the most important thing in that is that people feel the emotion. So it makes perfect sense to me when people are like, oh my God, you know, sitting with you live, I thought, you know, it sounded great here online, or it sounded great on my CD or whatever, but it's a whole different world live because they're getting that emotion, you know? Yeah. So I think it'll make me much more excited about, because like the last album that I recorded was a live album, because I was like, I don't want to go back in the studio and like and end up with a bunch of songs that I don't feel are as powerful as they are when I play them live. So I thought, well, I'll just record a live album.
Well, that's a lot. That's a lot of the problem the music now is
Yeah.
that, and like I was saying, like so much that mid range.
Yeah.
What I was saying was just taken out. Those are your power points right there in your vocal, and those, a lot of that's just taken out. It's just low and like the high end up there. So
Yeah, I'm just, the sad thing is like thinking about leaving this room and not being able to listen to music. Like, I don't even enjoy I haven't enjoyed listening to music in a long time. It doesn't move me the way that and now it's like listening in here, I was like so moved by every note and every sound, and it was like, oh yeah, oh my God, this is music, and it's incredible. And it almost like, it transcends genre and everything, it's like it makes every sound so, it makes the sound so almost like addictive. Like I just want more and more and more of it.
I know.
It's crazy.
It's really effortless. That's the big thing that appeals to me. When I sit in the chair and I press the play button, I don't have to think.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sitting in a chair listening to music.
Yeah, it takes you away. It transports
I don't
you.
have to think
Yeah.
about it at all. And what a great thing. It's the process of closing the door and sitting in the chair and pressing the button. Those three things, and you're transported somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Back to the technical side a little bit. Josh and I were talking about when you get a good signal, a good source in the beginning, and this is kind of spiritual. This is the way I think sometimes. If the source is strong and good and pure, the less electronic manipulation we need to do,
Yes.
the better off we are.
Yep.
The more of the emotion we can get through to our audience, I think.
Definitely.
I could be crazy, but I think
No,
that.
for sure. I mean, I definitely agree. The more pure the more pure frequency that we can put out to people.
Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like today we're trying to connect with machines and not
Yeah.
the artist.
Definitely.
I don't want that. I don't think any artist wants that either.
Well, I think some do. But
Oh,
I
really?
don't think the good ones do. I think it depends on the music too.
Well, the
you
genre.
know? But
course.
in my genre, at least, it's like it's all about the real performance
real
of it.
performance,
You know, the
yeah.
real sound, the human quality of it, the organic nature of it. So then when you put it through, a bunch of compressors and computers and plugins and everything, and try to make it sound like a natural voice. That's what's so funny.
Yes.
That's what all that's for.
Well, that's the thing is a lot of the times is what's happening is they're manipulating the room and not your actual voice. Here, when if I were to go and EQ and do things like, it's more tone shaping your voice. I'm not worried about trying to like take the room out of it or anything, get rid of the muddy stuff, because there's no mud in here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's none of that mud that you get from, other rooms and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So like here it's just tone shaping.
That makes sense, because they're trying to like get rid of some of the sounds of the room. So in doing that, they change the sound of your voice,
Yeah.
and so then they have to manipulate the.
So there's so much.
Yeah,
there's you gotta always find a happy medium.
Right, you're
and that's why I
balancing
think
it,
that's
yeah.
why like with engineers a lot of times they say a mix is never finished, because like you're always trying to make it better. But I think
Right.
if you could start with something that's already
Oh my God.
amazing. Say like you're hearing your vocals dry and just in this room.
Yeah.
Like you haven't heard it with any kind of reverb or delay or anything like that.
Yeah.
And it like you would be shocked like
Yeah.
again. Because what happens is, because the vocal is like really pure from this room, like you don't get all those muddy artifacts that you normally get with the different rooms or whatever,
Right.
and you get a cleaner delay and a cleaner reverb and all that stuff. So like it fits together with with your vocal, the main vocal, a lot better, instead of having to like, okay, well, let's EQ the reverb too, and then that's a different sound. So like
Right.
you got all these different sounds, and you're not really getting what you want.
I'm sold. I think it'd be great to have like the raw file, and then with a little EQ, with a little reverb, and on there just to show what it actually.
Just without even
like,
EQing, just
yeah.
putting a little reverb
no
on your
EQ.
vocals
I
right
mean,
now.
Yeah, like the raw one and one with a little reverb, just so that I can show people the like what it actually sounds like just with nothing on it. I
Yeah.
think that'd be great to have like each of the songs just totally clean, and then a little reverb. I mean, it's
And then mark how much you did
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
each one.
Yeah.
incredible.
Is there a standard marking that you use when you do reverb and delay?
Well, I kind of have my.
+2 or +3 or.
It just depends. It really depends on the music that goes
Yeah.
along with it. So it's different for each one.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
because generally you bring it up till you hear it and then you take it back down. So
Good. Well, thank you so much.
Oh my God, thank you.
It's great.
Thanks for ruining my ability to enjoy normal music.
I told
in
him the
normal
same. I
places
told him the
now.
same
Thank-
thing.
Everybody tells
Thanks,
me that.
Dennis. Thanks,
I'm like,
Dennis.
Did I do a good thing or not?
I know.